Hi Priti, welcome on YourPedia.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Wonderful Priti, and you have joined your PhD program in United States. And Priti, you are from BTech in biotechnology background, and you've got direct PhD in US, that is in Venice State University, which is in Michigan, Detroit. And today I'll interact with you. And needless to say, there are so many students back home in India who wants to pursue higher education. And there are certain advantages when we talk about direct PhD program. That is immediately after BTech, you go for direct PhD. So I'll be knowing more about this all. So I start with your background. Preeti, please tell us which part of India you are from and from where you've done your academics, like your BTech and all, from which college?
Okay, so I'm from Assam, which is in Northeast India, and I've done my BTech in Biotechnology from Manav Rachna University, which is a top university in Faridabad. And I've done my bachelor's thesis from Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Biomedical Research Center under Delhi University.
Mm. Okay, so Preeti, when did you graduate from Manav Rachna University?
It was in the year 2024.
Oh, so after that 2024, were you doing some job or you started exploring the opportunities
I
for higher
had a
education?
startup of my own, so I was associated with that startup, and I was also doing research simultaneously in oncology, which is cancer biology.
Mm. So see, you got direct PhD in cancer biology only, and for that, one thing which is required is your background in research, which you are saying that you are having a research background. So Preeti, can you tell more about your, when it comes to background in research, what do we actually mean? Is it like BTech, during BTech, whatever project you've done or internship you've done, or from where you got your research background?
So, like, it was in the core curriculum of my BTech. I had three cancer projects. And then I also worked 1 year in a lab where I identified various epigenetic factors in cancer, and I also published papers in that area. So I believe that is how I developed my interest in cancer biology and got into PhD.
Okay, so these papers which you published were on the basis of the projects which you did, right?
Yes.
Okay, and what about internships? Does it play some role, like internship during graduation, which you do?
I think it does because my internships were also focused on cancer biology itself. Like I had
Okay,
two internships, one from JNU and the other from back home, like in Assam DRDO. So I believe it plays a role.
so DID is a prestigious research organization. Jawaharlal Nehru University is very prestigious, university of higher education. So these big names and focus on one particular research area, that is cancer biology. That I think worked for you for getting this direct PhD program. And you said that after graduation, you were working somewhere, and that too also added to your research experience. So, can you
Yes.
elaborate on that also, Preeti? How was that? Because you said it was a startup.
Okay, so my startup was not related to cancer biology. There, we worked on developing an application that can help detect early diseases in medicinal plants. So, my role there was to collect data sets and train the model using various machine
Mhm,
learning techniques. And
mhm,
also simultaneously, I worked on various cancer projects. Like one of the project I worked on was identification of epigenetic factors, like the environmental factors and their role in pediatric oncology. So
mhm,
that is how I published a paper on that as well. So after
mhm.
that, I got into PhD and I came here.
Okay, so Preeti, now coming to this research area of cancer biology. So this is one of the research areas. And can you also tell my viewers here, like after biotechnology, what are the some really good research domains in which they can think of pursuing their research? And this question is for those graduates who are still in their second year, third year, and they are in the state of decision making that in which area we should pursue our academics.
I believe there are a lot of areas that students can explore. For instance, cancer biology,
Okay.
nanotechnology, food
Mm,
technology, fermentation technology. Even in
mm,
biology, we have so many sections like cell biology, genetics,
mm,
epigenetics,
mm,
then various molecular biology.
mm,
So, like, we
mm,
can choose one model organism and work towards it.
Mm,
Also, neurobiology, neuroscience is also very fascinating. So, I
mm.
believe biotechnology gives us the strength and the core foundation to pursue studies in any of these areas.
Mm. Okay. And Preeti, now coming to getting the opportunities for direct PhD or these kind of courses. So, what we understand is like you need to get in touch with the professors, you need to identify like who are working in that area. So, please also tell something about that. Like, when did you start exploring the opportunities for you, and at what stage of your journey you started exploring the options, maybe contacting the professors? So, how was it all?
Okay, so I started contacting professors in my final year. And
Okay.
when I started getting positive responses, that is when I requested them for a Zoom meeting wherein I was very interested about their research projects and if they have funding and if they're willing to take students in their labs. And based on those criterias, I actually chose universities and applied to them. So it was in my final year.
Good. So many students, when they start exploring the opportunity, they start contacting professors. Common their grievance is common. Their complaint is that they don't get response, and they contact so many professors, but they don't get response. So, what do you want to say on that? How can they get response?
Okay, so I believe we should not send generic mails like everybody is interested in their research area, but tell them something that they want to know, like maybe a technique that they have identified in one of the model organisms. For
Mm,
instance, in my case, I was very interested in RNA-seq, and the
mm,
professor that I'm currently working with, he already works in that area, and it was the same model organism Drosophila. So that is how I connected with him. I told him that I have a background in Drosophila and I'm very much interested in RNA-seq. So if
mm,
there is any opportunity in his lab and if you'd be willing to do a Zoom meet with me, so that is how you connect to professors.
mm.
Tell them something about very specific about their papers so that
Okay.
they know that we have read their papers.
Mm. So what I understood is like it is very important to know about the research work of the professor whom you are trying to contact and make him realize that you will be an asset in his research group and you know about his work. And you mentioned that
Yes.
even if you go through the research papers, that also helps, right?
Yes.
So when it comes to referring or reading the research papers of the professors, Preeti, so at the level of BTech, students may not be in position to understand what he has written in his research papers. So what do you mean when you say that, okay, we should see their research papers? To what extent or to what depth students should refer the research papers?
Okay, I believe like not everything can be understood because we
Yes.
have very limited knowledge in our bachelor's. So in
Mm,
my case, what I did was I used to go through the abstract that gave me an idea about the overview of what he's talking about in his paper. And I used
mhm,
to go through bits and pieces of introduction and methodology that would
mhm,
give me a brief idea of the techniques that he's very much interested in using in his research. And then I
mhm,
would also see the future directions or conclusions, what he's trying
mhm,
to come up with in the future. So that will
mhm,
be a very good open discussion for me if
mhm.
he is willing to do a Zoom meet. So that is how I
Wonderful.
used to make Excel sheets and write these things.
Okay. And when you meet professors, then how you have to prepare yourself for such interactions? Like you said that you were requesting them that, okay, let's have an interaction. So once professor agrees to have interaction with you, what special preparation you have to do?
Okay, we just have to tell them briefly about ourselves, where we are from, what degree we have,
Okay.
and what are the
Mm,
core subjects we have taken, and our research background. We just have to give them an idea of the research and how similar it is to their research, so
okay.
that they will think that okay, I may be an asset in their lab.
Okay. So, Preeti, now coming to the selection process in PhD, other than good academics and other than having good research experience or research background, what other things are required? And I'm asking about the documents like maybe SOPs, CVs, cover letters, or what documents are required and what other exams we need to have like IELTS, GRE, and all.
Okay, in my case, I did not have any GRE because that was not required by the
Yes.
department. What I had was I had IELTS and SOP, CV, and also like letter of recommendations from professors. So I believe these are the things, and obviously YourPedia helped me graft everything.
Mm.
So
Okay, so Priti, when it comes to IELTS, I can see a lot of resistance in students. They say that, sir, we can get medium of instruction from India in our college, like our education is in English. And I'm very sure, Priti, you had all the education in English and you could have got the medium of instruction. Normally, as a mentor, I suggest them that get your IELTS because that is important. So I would like to take your view on that.
I believe we are supposed to be giving IELTS because we come to a new country and they expect us to be very fluent in English language. And
Mm,
I believe when we submit IELTS scores, it adds a benefit to our overall application as compared to somebody who does not have IELTS. So I believe
mm,
it is not much of a hassle, so people can
mm.
always take it.
And would you like to suggest something like what band of IELTS are sufficient for
I
admission?
believe seven is sufficient in
Sufficient.
overall everything, and for speaking, we can always go for eight because most
Mm,
universities demand eight.
Okay. Now I'll ask you a question which most of the students ask us. They ask me, like, if we start the process today, if we start mailing professors today, after how many months we can, feel confident that we are going to get some kind of response or some kind of. So how long is the process?
Okay, so the entire process is of 1 year. Like if we have to apply for fall 2027, we have to start in December 2026.
Okay.
So before starting application, we have to start mailing professors. So I would say around August to September is a good time to start mailing professors for fall session of the next year. And we can
Okay.
expect replies in within a week or so. Mostly they will
Okay.
let us know.
Okay, so Preeti, we are interacting today in Feb, 7th Feb 2026. Now, let's say a candidate who is in final year and he's going to graduate, let's say in 2026 summers, maybe August, June, July, he's going to graduate. So, can you suggest the timeline? Like somebody who is in final year, I believe he will be late now for fall 2026, but somebody who is in third year and he or she is to graduate in 2027. So, I'm going to graduate in 2027 and I want to join some university in 2027 summers, maybe August 2027. What should be the timeline for me?
Then I believe for you the timeline should be around December 2026.
I
And you
should
can
start.
start mailing them by August, September, so that you have ample amount of time.
But when we say 2026 December, don't you think applications deadlines will be over? Because I believe October 2026 are the applications when these open up for 2027, right?
Yes, the deadlines fall in December, yes.
Yeah. So
So
I believe,
maybe 1 or 2 months prior.
yeah. So as you rightly said earlier, that 2026 August should be like I should start pitching in 1 year, exactly 1 year before, when I'm looking for joining some university.
Yes.
Yeah, and when you contact professor, so do they ask anything from you? I mean, what do they need? When I approach a professor, what documents do I need to, send to them?
In my case, all I sent to them was my CV, and
Okay.
in 2, 3 Zoom meets, they also asked me to send me links of my research or review papers that I had published so that they would get an idea of the kind of research work I was doing. So, yeah,
Hmm. Okay.
those are the
Okay. And
two.
yeah, now Preeti, you have already joined Venice State University, and I can ask you something related to that also. Please tell my viewers the academic or research ecosystem of your university.
Okay, so like it is one of the top three public universities in Michigan. So that gives it an added advantage when it comes to performing very advanced research techniques. We have like next gen sequencing, RNA sequencing, and everything. So the lab that I'm currently working in, it is very collaborative. So I also reach out to professors from School of Medicine, and they also help us in some of the
Mhm.
sections of our research work. So it's really dynamic and people are very welcoming here in my university.
Okay, and what is the work culture when we say work culture in university in the research labs? And what I'm asking is like relation of a student with professors, with your peers, your time you spent in the labs on the weekends, and your life as a student in the university, those things.
Okay, so I actually have a very balanced life when it comes to my work. And if I talk in terms of relationships that I share with my peers or my PI, it's actually very dynamic and friendly kind of. There's nothing boss and student kind of a relationship. It's like everybody's equal. They treat us equally. They take in our
Mhm.
inputs. We also attend journal clubs where
Mhm.
we give our 2 cents on various research topics. And the atmosphere is very light, very friendly, as compared to
Mhm.
some of the atmospheres that I faced back home. So, yeah.
Mhm. Okay, so Priti, why candidates should go for direct PhD and not masters first?
I believe if we reach out and get into a direct PhD, that gives us an added advantage. We don't lose 2 years. I mean,
Okay.
years count in the long run, and
Mhm.
I believe that if we know ultimately we are doing research, then why not join a PhD program that is entirely based on research rather than focusing on masters? So I believe that
Good.
is why people who are interested in research should pursue PhD.
By now, you must have realized the duration of your PhD program. You must have discussed with your senior PhD
Yes.
students. So, please tell us something about the duration of PhD in the United States.
So the average years here is 6 years, and if I talk about my lab, so it is somewhere between 4 to 5 years. We
Okay.
can graduate in that period, yes.
Okay, so direct PhD 4 to 5 years looks like quite good because
Yes.
after masters also it takes that much of time. So does not. So when we see students, PhD students in Indian universities, most of them they have this kind of point of concern that it is a long duration program for us PhD and PhD. The most of the people, capable people who do not go for PhD, though they want to go for PhD, is long duration at this stage of their life. So, do you find students in universities in US, whatever experience you had, also talking about this particular thing like, okay, long years, 4 to 5 years we have to invest?
Actually, if I be honest, I've never come across this sort of conversations because here people are from different age groups. Like I'm the youngest in my lab and I still feel very welcoming. People are very friendly. They don't mind actually.
Mhm.
Here people are very open minded and they pursue research because they want to do it. They don't think about the like age or other factors behind all those years. So I believe
Mhm.
we should not think about our age when it comes to doing something we really want to.
Mm. Okay, now Preeti, something about which parents are concerned about, like, okay, our kid is going to United States, she will be studying there. So, where she will be staying and how she will be staying, how she will manage herself, and how safe is the ecosystem there. So, please comment on that also.
Okay, I feel like US is a very safe country when it comes to student life and everything. And we can always reach out to professors and our peers and get to know about the housing facilities there. And I believe it works out eventually, one way or the other. And it is not much of a hassle. Once you land in the US, like things flow very smoothly.
Mm. Okay, and Preeti, if some student is listening to our this conversation and he or she is interested to go for PhD position, funded PhD positions, direct PhD positions, what comes to the mind is like, what credentials should I have? Maybe something like Preeti, which makes me eligible or which helps me to get these kind of opportunities. So, can you tell some credentials which students should have for direct PhD programs?
I believe CGPA matters somewhere down the line when we look for direct PhD. So, like in my case, I had a GPA of about 3.9 something. So, I believe 3.5 or above is good when it comes to
Hmm.
CGPA. And also,
Okay.
IELTS score plays a role. And I feel like, yeah, these are the two factors which also in case of research publications matter. So at least
Hmm.
try to have 1 or 2 publications in the core research area that you are
Okay.
pursuing.
Hmm. Okay.
That helps.
Okay. Okay, that's wonderful, Preeti. So, when did you join university?
I came to US in the month of December and my classes started on 12th January.
So, you have a couple of months of experience in university now.
Yeah, almost a
Wonderful.
month or two.
Wonderful. So, Priti, have I missed anything which we should have shared with the viewers or the students? Though I believe I have asked all my points, but if you think that I have missed anything, and we can share with the students.
No, I believe we covered pretty much everything that
They
needs to
should
be
know. Yeah.
covered.
Yeah, so Preeti, it is true. It was like you just started your journey on PhD. It is going to be a couple of years, and I will again pop up after maybe 2 or 2.5 years when you are in the middle of your PhD. That with that time I'll have your again your perspective on your journey, and I'm very sure the purpose of these videos are to give a first hand experience of the candidates who are pursuing these kind of courses in top universities across the globe to Indian students, and obviously we learn from each other. I'm very sure you must have seen many students who are doing good in their career, and similarly many students are going to see you also and learn from whatever you said. So, with that, we come to an end of this wonderful session, Preeti. And let me thank you for sparing this time today. And I wish you all the very best for your career ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. So have a good